Today in the show, we have the House of Mouse headlines brought to you by laughingplace.com, your up-to-date resource for the latest Disney news every day of the week. This episode is being released on March 20th, 2024, and here's what's been going on in the world of Disney recently. DisneylandForward takes another step toward reality, more details on Pixar Fest, Star Tours updates on the way, and more.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
Disney legend and financial leader Carl Bongino recently passed away at the age of 86. Carl was at the forefront of a truly unprecedented decade of the Walt Disney Company's growth, from Epcot to Tokyo Disneyland and Disneyland Paris. His first step into the world of Disney parks was a 4-year stint as a treasurer for WED Enterprises. While serving as director of the finance division, Carl was part of the highly secretive Project X, which would become the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. Later, he became vice president of finance and treasurer for Walt Disney World. As a result of his decades of important service to the Walt Disney Company, Carl was named a Disney legend in 2007. Our thoughts are with the Bongino family at this time. Those looking to save money on a Walt Disney World visit this spring or summer may want to take advantage of some new theme park ticket offers. First, there's the 4-day, 4-park Magic ticket, which starts at $99 per day plus tax for a total of $396 plus tax. This option includes 1-day admission to each of Walt Disney World's 4 parks, but guests can only visit 1 park per day and cannot visit the same park more than once. This offer applies to date-based tickets with start dates from April 2nd through September 22nd. Alternatively, there's also the 3-day, 3-park tickets, which includes access to Disney's Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Disney's Animal Kingdom, but not Magic Kingdom. Like with the 4-day ticket, this is 1 park per day, and each park can only be visited once. This 3-day ticket works out to $89 per day plus tax for a total of $267 plus tax. Start dates for this offer run from April 2nd through September 24th. For more on these deals or to purchase, be sure to visit the Walt Disney World website. Cast members on Main Street USA at Magic Kingdom will soon be wearing a new set of costumes. As announced by Disney, the turn-of-the-century style outfits are made of a lightweight, breathable fabric for comfort and are also made from recyclable materials. This is just the latest in a string of new costumes that are keeping in mind the comfort of cast members, including PhotoPass photographers on both coasts recently seeing an upgrade. So keep an eye out for these new looks on your next visit. Starting next month, Star Tours will take guests on new adventures inspired by a trio of Disney Plus shows. Starting April 5th, the popular ride will feature characters and locations from Ahsoka, Andor, and The Mandalorian. Specifically, Disney mentions that Peridia from Ahsoka will be a new destination riders might visit, while new transmissions from Ahsoka Tano, Cassian Andor, and Din Djarin with Grogu will also be possible. These new scenes will be added to the mix in Walt Disney World, Disneyland, and Disneyland Paris, which will mean that there will soon be more than 250 possible storyline variations on the ride. Walt Disney World and Disneyland are looking to make it easier to find available dining reservations. Now, with a single search, guests will be able to view up to 10 days of availability of any given restaurant at once. Moreover, guests can view all reservations on a selected date rather than viewing the day in chunks. Nevertheless, app users can sort by breakfast, brunch, lunch, and dinner. Hopefully these tweaks will benefit Walt Disney World and Disneyland guests on their quests for great on-property food. Disney Cruise Line has released their summer 2025 itineraries, which features voyages to beautiful destinations including Europe, Alaska, the Bahamas, and the Caribbean. First, the Disney Fantasy will spend its summer season in Europe in 2025, visiting incredible European destinations from Northern Europe to the Mediterranean. Meanwhile, the Disney Wonder will once again embark on adventures to Alaska from Vancouver, Canada, with 5, 7, 8, and 9-night sailings from May to September. 4 Disney Cruise Line ships will home port in Florida in summer 2025, with 3 ships out of Port Canaveral and 1 out of Fort Lauderdale to whisk families away on tropical escapes to the Bahamas and Caribbean, including Disney's magical island destinations. That includes the Disney Treasure, which will follow its inaugural season with 7-night itineraries from Port Canaveral to the eastern and western Caribbean. To explore voyages and book your sailing, be sure to visit DisneyCruiseLine.com or call your favorite travel agent. Disney Vacation Club has announced its 2025 Disney Cruise Line member cruise. This time around, it'll be a 5-night Western Caribbean cruise on the Disney Dream. The cruise will set sail on August 2nd from Fort Lauderdale, making stops at Castaway Cay and Cozumel, Mexico. As always, DVC member cruises are filled with special entertainment, commemorative keepsakes, and 5 nights filled with surprises. Bookings for this exclusive cruise open on April 13th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Marvel Day at Sea will be returning in 2025 to the beautiful Disney Dream. Setting sail January through early March from Fort Lauderdale, this spectacular day at sea combines the fun and relaxation of a Disney cruise vacation with a thrilling extravaganza with fan-favorite Marvel characters. The day-long celebration will feature entertainment for the whole family, including superhero sightings, Marvel-themed activities, and unique food and beverage offerings. 2025 Marvel Day at Sea sailings include select dates on the Bahamian Caribbean itinerary that includes Nassau, Grand Cayman, and Disney Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point, as well as select dates on the Western Caribbean itinerary that includes Cozumel, Mexico, and Castaway Cay. Fans of Disney's National Treasure franchise, I have some bad news. Despite reports suggesting that a 3rd film installment was in the works, the franchise star Nick Cage said that the project isn't moving forward. In an interview with Screen Rant, Cage said bluntly, "Nope, there is no National Treasure 3. Cage also seemingly made a declaration of independence from the studio, saying, "If you want to find treasure, don't look at Disney, okay? It's not there." While National Treasure 3 seems to be out of the question, Disney Plus did recently air a TV series, National Treasure: Edge of History, but it was canceled after 1 season. It looks as though a well-publicized Star Wars project is back on the table after previously being left for dead. On a TCM Max podcast, director Patty Jenkins said she signed a deal with Lucasfilm to revive her Rogue Squadron project, which was first announced during a Disney Investor Day in 2020. As Jenkins explained that since Wonder Woman 3 isn't happening, she's free to do this film, stating, quote, "I now owe a draft of Star Wars, and so we will see what happens there," end quote. So while it may not be 100% happening, suddenly, there's a new hope for Star Wars fans. This Earth Day, an all-new Disney nature film will pounce on Disney+. If you couldn't guess from the word choice, the animals featured this time are tigers, with the film being titled Tiger. The release of Tiger happens to fall on the 15th anniversary of the first Disney nature film, Earth. Additionally, it's been announced that Priyanka Chopra Jonas will narrate the compelling story. Directed by Mark Linfield, co-directed by Vanessa Berlowitz and Rob Sullivan, and produced by Linfield, Berlowitz, and Roy Conley, Tiger is the groundbreaking culmination of 1,500 days of filming. Also streaming on Disney Plus this Earth Day is a companion film to Tiger, Tigers on the Rise. Narrated by Blair Underwood, the film celebrates the remarkable comeback of one of the world's most iconic animals. So, this Earth Day, get ready to celebrate with Disney nature and these 2 tiger films. Disney Branded Television and BBC have announced the premiere date for the next installment of Doctor Who on Disney+. The new season will launch on the streamer on Friday, May 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern, and will premiere at midnight on Saturday, May 11th in the UK. 2 episodes will premiere on the night of May 10th, followed by an additional episode for the following 6 weeks. The new season follows the 15th Doctor and his companion Ruby Sunday through infinite adventures across time and space in the TARDIS. A new trailer for the season is also due to debut on March 22nd, so get ready for more of the Doctor coming your way soon. Remember the last time we discussed the upcoming Agatha Harkness Disney Plus show and wondered whether the previous name change would be the last? Well, apparently it wasn't, as Disney Plus has updated the title once again, going from Agatha Darkhold Diaries to, well, just Agatha. If you'll recall, the series was originally announced to be called Agatha House of Harkness, before being renamed to Agatha Coven of Chaos, and then Agatha Darkhold Diaries. As more than a few people have pointed out, the theme here is that it really has been Agatha all along. The newly named Agatha will once again star Kathryn Hahn as the titular witch, while the cast includes Joe Locke, Aubrey Plaza, Ali Ahn, Maria Dizia, Sashir Zamata, Patti LuPone, Emma Caulfield, and Deborah Jo Rupp. No release date for the show has been announced yet, but it is expected to arrive this fall on Disney+. And now it's time to bring back Kyle Burbank from laughingplace.com. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing well, Jeff. How about you?
Pretty good. Okay, Kyle, before we jump into the news, I want to play a voicemail real quickly from a DCTC listener who I recently learned sadly passed away. So let me play that for you right now.
Hey, Jeff. My name is Brian, and I'm calling as a former Walt Disney World cast member from 1997 to 2008. Working in costuming, creative costuming, entertainment development, and costume management. I love your work. I'm obviously no longer there at Disney. I'm back in Pittsburgh because a few years ago I had multiple strokes and lost most of my eyesight due to optic nerve damage. And now your podcast is great. But I thought I would try to reach out. I was going to try to reach out earlier in the summer, but I know you're getting ready for Halloween and everything. But now that the holiday is over, I wanted to reach out and see if I might be able to tap you to get some information to the Disney archives, specifically about the Disney 100 exposition. I'm using most of my arts background and knowledge now in the arts accessibility here in Pittsburgh, specifically with audio description in museums and live theater and dance and whatnot. And I did go over to Philadelphia, and not accessible in any great way at all. There's a longer story there and whatnot, but would love to chat with you about that if you want to. You can give me a call back on my cell, but keep up the good work, and thank you for doing what you do. Take care. Bye.
So I want to thank Brian for leaving that voicemail, obviously, and frankly, I'm just always honored when anybody takes time to leave a voicemail. It's always very sweet, often very sweet, I should say. Sometimes not so sweet, but that's okay too. But I just wanted to bring this up because, as I mentioned, he did pass away. I was notified of this by either a friend or relative of his because I actually spoke with Brian. As you heard in the voicemail, he's very passionate about making sure that disabled folks have the opportunity to experience the arts. And in this case, he was talking about a Disney exhibit in particular. And it was a really interesting conversation. I think I talked to him in January, and it was a few weeks later that I got the sad news. But I just got to say, when I was talking with him, he was not born blind. As you heard, he went blind due to a series of strokes, and he was never bitter about it. I'm sure he struggled with it and had a really hard time with it when it first happened, but he was never bitter about it. And he was using his disability for good. And I don't know, it was just a very lovely conversation, a really nice guy. We spoke for at least a half hour, probably longer. And yeah, I just wanted to send my condolences to his family and friends if any of them happen to be listening. And yeah, so I was very sad to receive that email, but I'm happy I got to talk to him before it all happened. And how sweet of him to be I'm going to wait until after Halloween to leave you a voicemail because I know it's
that stood out to me too when I was listening to it. Absolutely.
Very considerate. So my condolences. And like I said, I'm happy I got to speak with him. But shall we move on to some Disney news, Kyle?
Yeah, you reminded me on the old Laughing Place podcast, they would do a thing when they had transition from sad news into regular news. They'd do whoop, whoop, whoop. So I almost did that instinctively, and now I have done it.
Do it again. Let's get to the news. Right. In a released presentation for shareholders, Disney has clarified how the previously announced $60 billion of investment into Disney parks and experiences will be divided. 50% will go to parks and resorts, 30% to tech and maintenance, and 20% to cruise and other areas. The plan supports investments to create magical new experiences and refresh existing infrastructure. That amount is double what Disney Disney spent on parks and the cruise line over the past decade, which was itself a period of greatly increased investment. Got to keep in mind, though, inflation has been kind of insane. So, sure, it's more, but it probably is closer to equal, would be my guess. I'm not a mathematician. I don't know for certain, but good to keep that in mind. They did point out, the Frozen themed lands at Hong Kong Disneyland and Disneyland Paris, as well as Zootopia at Shanghai Disneyland, Fantasy Springs at Tokyo Disney Sea, Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Disneyland and Walt Disney World, and 3 cruise ships coming along. Those were all kind of included in that, so some of this money has been quote unquote spent already, but $60 billion is a lot of money. But I don't know, 50% going to the parks and stuff is probably lower than what people were anticipating, but crap ton of money still.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the stuff like the tech and things will help the park experience. So I think that's good because, going to my tagline, Disney tech sucks. So if we can spend, let me do some quick math, $20 billion on it, I think that's good.
Whatever, they were like 90% of this is going to fix the Disney apps. I'd kind of be like, all right, let's do it. They just better work.
Oh, I mean, I'm so glad we finally got around to figuring out that the reservation system should look a little bit like OpenTable and allow you to, not just view five different times for one restaurant on one day. It's like, yeah, this is obvious. Why did it take you so long to do this?
Yeah, you're talking about the earlier story of the dining reservations. It was. I don't use that, that app and that service very often, but I will admit when it does come to the dining options, they were limited. So it's a welcome change for sure. But $60 billion still happening. Some of it's spent, some of it's going to the parks, not all of it. So should be good. But speaking of changes in the parks, Disneyland has revealed that 2 shops in Critter Country are set to be reimagined with themes inspired by The Princess and the Frog. The reimagined merchandise locations coming to Critter Country and Disneyland Park will include Ray's Berets and Lewis's Critter Club. Their stories will further immerse you into Princess Tiana's story, along with the opening of the attraction Tiana's Bayou Adventure later this year. The first location, Ray's Berets, currently the Briar Patch, will be the best place for guests to shop for headwear, apparel, accessories, toys, and more, with Firefly Raymond and his Firefly kin in the coziest cabin in Critter Country. So this location is basically selling the same merchandise that it currently does. I'm sure more Princess and the Frog themed, but this was a hat shop. And correct me if I'm wrong, I heard this quote unquote fun fact a while ago, but I hear that structure is actually like opening day Disneyland. True or false? Have you heard this?
I haven't heard that.
I have heard that, or maybe it's just for that land or something, because that, let's face it, that land, I mean, Critter Country didn't even exist. It was, what was it when?
Bear Country.
Bear Country, yeah. And they used to have like Native American tribes there and stuff and shows like that. So I hear that structure is from either OG Disneyland or very, very, very early days of Disneyland. So we're not losing that historic structure. I have seen some people complaining that like it's a very weak, overlay of it, but it's a hat shop. So what do you want? There's that, and then Lewis's Critter Club, currently the left-hand side of Pooh Corner, so this is interesting. Lewis's Critter Club is the place to go for apparel, accessories, home decor, and more, featuring some of your favorite critters and Princess Tiana. The treats side of Pooh Corner will remain as a destination for must-have merchandise from 100 Acre Wood, including beloved sweet treats like Tigger Tails. What I learned there is Tigger Tails make a crap ton of money.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I'm sure it's on every list of treat you must have when you visit Disneyland.
Yeah. It's marshmallows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, so, I mean, listen, we're keeping some Winnie the Pooh shop there, which means I guess the ride isn't going anywhere. I guess Critter Country is going to continue to exist. I keep thinking it becomes an expansion of New Orleans Square, but I guess not.
I guess the entrance of the ride will be in New Orleans Square and the exit is in Critter Country. That's kind of what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, Critter Country is going to be a sliver, I guess, but yeah, it's really, really weird, but that's happening. And to make way for these exciting enhancements to the land, Critter Country will temporarily close beginning May 1st, 2024. So I wonder does that mean the Winnie the Pooh dark ride is going to close?
I think so.
Interesting.
That's part of Critter Country. They've done this before. They've had that whole thing blocked off. So this isn't like the first time ever, I don't believe.
Okay, well, it's interesting because the Winnie the Pooh, what's the official name of that ride? I keep saying the Winnie the Pooh ride.
The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh?
Thank you. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is kind of a go-to for me when I'm not in the mood to wait in a line. And, people always go to Fantasyland, and people want to do the Fantasyland rides because they're classic, they're fun. I love them. But there are often long lines for them. And so I'm like, let's just go hit up Winnie the Pooh, because it's usually 5 or 10 minutes, if that. So that might be closed for a while, though. That's happening. Anything you want to add? Anything look cool with those shops for you?
I don't care about the shops. I think it's probably smart to retheme. I do like that they're keeping the half of Pooh Corner, and I'm glad they're keeping the ride because, like you said, it's a good go on. I actually think I like that one better than the one at Magic Kingdom just because the voices are a bit different, and it's probably just because I'm used to the one in California. That's really the reason. But yeah, I always enjoy going, and I haven't been on it in a really long time. So,
and the rain comes down, down, down.
Oh, I say Happy Wednesday all the darn time in this blustery place that I live.
One blustery day in the 100-acre woods, Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, I love it.
Heffalumps and woozles, steal honey.
Next House of Mouse headlines, we'll just recite the entire ride for you. Alrighty, moving on. The Anaheim City Planning Commission voted 5-1 in approval of Disneyland's DisneylandForward plan, sending it to the full city council. Now the matter will officially be put before the Anaheim City Council for approval. While this proposal doesn't give Disney any new land, it would change the way their existing land is zoned, allowing them to use as they see fit. I mean, yeah, let them do what they want with it. It's their land, is kind of how I feel. I get it. There's legislature, there's law, there's whatever. But like, this fight has always been such a weird fight to me.
Yeah, I think this is the most middle line thing that they could do. Be like, hey, well, they emphasize every part of it. But then, some of those old controversies still keep coming up. People are like, oh, they broke their promise about this and they're getting funding for this. Like, yeah, we're not asking for funding for this. This is all just us. We're just saying, let us build what we want to build where we want to build it. This was a long meeting that Mike Celestino had to sit through. Apparently, one of the people on the board was purposely dragging it out and just asking a bunch of asinine questions, and also tried to push it back. But surprise, they voted against it. Everybody else voted for it. Voted to recommend it to the city council, so it's looking pretty good. We'll see. It's supposed to happen April 16th, so I'm sure you'll hear about it right here shortly after that. And
I think it was like 6+ hours, correct, for the meeting?
Yeah, because you have to have public comment, and people on both sides, people come out in favor of it, which is, to me, I guess you kind of have to, because if it's just a bunch of negativity, then that, could influence the board. They are supposed to be listening to the constituents after all. But then, Disney also kind of, well, I don't know if they directly do it, but stacks the deck sometimes. And so then you have to sit through a bunch of in favor, which still just takes a bunch of time.
Yeah. Well, bless Mike for doing that.
Yeah.
In any case, during the meeting, an environmental impact report was discussed. And one thing that might surprise folks is that these reports, at least in the Anaheim area, also include the impact of a project on historical sites. Now, in 2005, the Main Street Railroad Depot was identified as eligible for listing in the National Register of Historic Places, as well as in 2019, Pirates of the Caribbean was identified as eligible. Also in 2019, the Hungry Bear Restaurant was identified as eligible. It's keeping Critter Country alive. So yeah, there's historic questionable things, but Disneyland as a whole was found eligible for National Register listing as well. For the DisneylandForward Environmental Impact Report, it did not name these locations specifically and how they would be affected for Disney's zoning, but it is some weird fun facts that came out of this. I'm curious, Kyle, if you were going to pick an individual thing at Disneyland that you would be like, yeah, of course that's historic, what would you pick? Because some of these are a little, Hungry Bear, random.
It is random, but just to explain that before I give what I think we're all looking for, if you look at it, it's more because of the art. It demonstrates the architecture of the 70s or something like that. So it's not just saying this is the most important building. It's just saying that it reflects the time that it was, and it's historic in that way. And it also doesn't mean that they can't touch Hungry Bear because of this. That's why it shows up on the impact report, is because it is viewed as historic. But
yeah, they say, quote, it will result in a significant and unavoidable impact on historical resources. So, the Hungry Bear is a historical resource, apparently.
Yeah. But I mean, if you think just in terms of what we would imagine as being historic, you would just say the castle.
Sleeping Beauty Castle, yeah, and Walt's apartment. Although, to be fair, if Walt's apartment were like that historic landmark that they couldn't touch, I mean, they've already messed with it so much that,
yeah.
And Club 33, same thing. It's like, it's not even the Club 33 of Walt's time.
Oh, I'm like, are the People Mover tracks on this list? Because they sure don't want to touch those.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Leave them sitting there.
Sincerely. So the news is some fun facts. There's some historic significance beyond what, Disney fans initially thought when it comes to Disneyland, but it shouldn't really affect the Disneyland Forward plans. And I'm ready for Disneyland Forward to move forward. How about you?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We got the whole Avatar thing out of it too. When maybe we'll get a land. Maybe it'll be an experience. Maybe a land is an experience. And maybe we're all just looking a little too closely.
Yeah, he used the word land, right? Bob Iger used
the word land. And then Disneyland, or Disney, when they put out their recap, they didn't quote him. People said that they edited his quote. They didn't edit his quote. They just said, and he reaffirmed plans for an Avatar experience. So yeah, I think we're reading too much into that. I think it will be a land. I just don't know why they're not saying. I assume that it'll probably be different than Pandora. It'll probably have something to do with a future sequel or something. But I just wanted to bring that up because obviously that would be a project that would be part of this, presumably, and could go on without it. But hopefully they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Now, Disney fans we're weird in the respect that, we want those great big projects. That's what we get excited about. But we also get excited about the small things. And we got really excited because a special guest swung by Soarin' Over California in Disney California Adventure. And that is your captain, Patrick Warburton, or your chief flight attendant, rather, Patrick Warburton. He surprised some guests. Soarin' Over California returns every year now during the Food and Wine Festival at DCA. And he came out live and he did his little spiel live, which is super iconic at this point. Supposedly with surprised guests. I hope some of them were surprised, but did you happen to recognize one of them?
I didn't, but I imagine that they were surprise guests, but I also believe that they were handpicked guests.
Well, the voice of Minnie Mouse was very much in that group, so...
Oh, okay.
That's
funny. I'll have to watch again because I didn't notice her, but...
Yeah, I hope some of them were real surprised guests, and... Yeah, there were definitely... Listen, these are produced social media videos. They're not as happenstance as they might play them off to be. Do you remember back in the day when they did when flash mobs were huge and they did the wedding proposal flash mob on Main Street and people are so convinced by it. And I was just like, guys, take a look at these camera angles. This is from a rooftop on Main Street, USA. This is not a guest video. And so listen, this moral of the story, these things are produced. They're meant to entertain us. They do. Hopefully some of the surprise is real, though.
Cast members are guests, too.
Cast members are guests, too. And the person who was, working as the Soarin' cast member is definitely not a Soarin' cast member. I'm pretty sure I've seen him in plaid before. So, sorry, ruining the magic, but... Yeah, it was fun, though. Awesome video. I'm all for these. We are spoiled with these in Southern California, considering we just live near Los Angeles where so much content is made. What have we had? We've had Johnny Depp do some amazing things. We've had Mark Hamill show up. Now Patrick Warburton. I'm not saying it never happens in Florida, but we're pretty spoiled with them here in SoCal, I would say.
Yeah. And I will go on the record saying that I do love that Soarin' Over California returns for this food festival every year.
Yeah, because the festival has so much to do with California.
I don't care. I like that they've made a seasonal reason to bring back the original thing.
Yeah, you know what's really funny, though? I saw a video on social media of people around applauding when, how there's a little hanging sign under Soarin' that goes from around the world to Soarin' Over California. like some staff, cast member was out there changing the sign, and like people were watching, videoing, and applauding this. And I just thought to myself, how weird that they would do that during business hours instead of like, after they're closed and before they open. What an odd choice.
Maybe they were staging another social media video that just didn't come out right. And
Maybe there was that, or maybe somebody forgot. They're like, oh crap. But yeah, but that was always the tip though. When Soarin' Around the World came, it was always the tip that this isn't permanent because there was the removable sign there. So yeah, I think, Over California will be there for some time. And Epcot got it back recently too, right?
It's back to World now, but yeah, they had it for, I think the excuse was celebrating the Disney 100.
Yeah. Very cool.
Don't know how that ties in, but they made it work.
Ties in just as well as a food and wine festival, doesn't it? Pretty much.
Hey, they got California wines and, avocado and
all right.
stuff.
Listen, we accept it. We love it. Anyway, you ready for some more Pixar Fest details?
Yes.
Heck yeah, because they're revealed. You can grab your Alien Pizza Planet truck bucket at both Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure for Pixar Fest starting on April 26th. Another popcorn bucket. This one kind of holds popcorn.
I did see your post about the AMC Ghostbusters thing. We're like, look, it has something to do with the movie, and it looks like it should hold popcorn. This is impressive.
So Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters movie is coming out, of course, and it has what's the thing called? The trap, the ghost trap that they put down, that rectangular box thingy that they slide out, open the top opens, and the ghosts get sucked into it. I don't know what it's called. Sorry, Ghostbusters lovers out there. But yeah, that's their popcorn bucket, and it's super cool. I'm like, this is a super unique souvenir, totally fitting to the theme of the film, and it holds popcorn. It's amazing. So now we're getting a Pizza Planet truck one. That's happening. And of course, there'll be a ton of limited time Pixar Fest merchandise that'll also arrive in April. You'll also find medallions themed to each of your favorite Pixar films available for a limited time throughout Disneyland Resort. What does this mean? Is this like those oversized medallions like we had for photo ops, or?
No, it's those little, well, I don't think so. That's a good point. But no, I think that they're like kind of in San Francisco. They have that medallion machine.
Okay, so kind of like a penny press, but the medallions.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's how I took it, at least.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they meant like, remember the giant Disney 100 ones they had that were photo
they
ops?
have it for that. They had it for 24-hour day. Anytime it's anything special, you can have someone hand you a piece of cardboard so that you can hold it up. And
I wasn't even thinking of that. I was talking about like the giant ones that they had like in downtown Disney.
Oh, yeah, good point.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, now I'm confused. I took it as merchandise.
It probably is because you make money off of that. So it's probably the merchandise option. So, all right, Pixar medallions coming your way. Throughout the day, the whole family can dance and play the Pixar way with some favorite pals at the Pixar Pals Playtime Party at Fantasyland Theater in Disneyland Park. Wah, wah. This makes me sad because this is the official reason for the closing of Tale of the Lion King. Sad. I loved that show, Kyle.
I know.
What did you say as I was talking?
I said it's like bringing back Videopolis.
We're going to the top, Videopolis. It's not as cool as Videopolis, but yes, it's that kind of thing. Get into the groove at a high energy show, enjoy interactive games, photo locations, and activities inspired by Pixar feature films, and even watch a selection of iconic shorts on the big screen. During the day at the Hollywood backlot, you can snap a photo in front of Pixar-themed backdrops, play games, and maybe even encounter a favorite character to pose with. When day turns to night, Club Pixar will take over the area for a nighttime party inspired by the amazing stories from Pixar Animation Studios. Your whole group can enjoy an interactive DJ dance party, live performances, exciting games, photo ops, themed foods, specially crafted beverages, and more. So listen, this is good news. Nighttime party returning to the DCA Hollywood Studios backlot. Those are always so much fun. To this day, I am not a Tron fan, but holy hell, Electronica was some of the most fun I've ever had there. So like, happy to have a nighttime party come back to DCA with Pixar Fest. Mad Tea Party, also a ton of fun. It just kind of, it's like a dagger even deeper because it's like we're basically doing the same thing that we're taking over the Fantasyland Theater for And we stole your Tale of the Lion King for. So that's kind of the bummer
for kids.
part.
That's the daytime party. This is the nighttime party, and it's in a different park. It's a different ticket. And remember Freeze the Night? That was the one that was kind of stuck in between like Mad Tea Party 1 and Mad Tea Party 2.
God, it was a Frozen theme.
There was a Frozen theme thing that didn't really go as hard and didn't do as well. And then also, before we had Electronica, we had to suffer through Glowfest.
What do you mean suffer through? Glowfest was amazing.
So stupid. That was, I believe, produced by an outside company, and then Disney started doing it internally after.
To be fair, Glowfest kind of started all of that. I think that was first. Yeah, that was the first one I remember. So, they're fun. I think that Hollywood backlot area works well for it. And the entertainment's usually really good. There's usually fun projection and lighting and stuff. It's fitting space for Pixar Fest because it's right near the Monsters, Inc. ride, which is great. And yeah, it'll be fun. I think it'll be a blast. But, I'm a little sad about Tale of the Lion King still. I'm not going to lie. It's going to take a while to get over that.
You'll get over it.
Wah, wah. In any case, Pixar Fest begins on April 26th at the Disneyland Resort. Both parks, folks, and I'm sure it'll spread into Downtown Disney as well. Are there any official announcements for Downtown Disney? I'm not sure, but
I don't think so. But yeah, they'll have banners. I guarantee there'll be banners.
There will be banners, hopefully with accurate years on them if they decide to put the year of each Pixar film or something.
And if Jeff is correct about the medallion, the type of medallions we're talking about, then maybe one of those will be out there too, since they had a couple of those for Disney 100.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. It's probably like the press, penny press machines, because I don't even know what they sell them for. But like, didn't they have 100 of them for Disney 100? I think they had 100 different medallions.
The longer we talk, the more I realize that I haven't been to the Disneyland Resort or for Walt Disney World, for that matter, in a just longer and longer amount of time. So I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even think I went during D100.
Yeah, you just keep flying to Paris.
I know.
Here's what the problem is. No drones here. You're like, I'm only going where the drones are. Is that what's happening?
I haven't been to Paris in a while. I don't have my annual pass anymore. Ugh. The last park I was at, I think, was Hong Kong.
We need to start talking to your bosses at Laughing Place and make some magic happen. Okay? Okay, sounds good. All righty, let's move on, because from spring 2024, be bonkers and dive down the rabbit hole like never before in Alice and the Queen of Hearts Back to Wonderland, an electrifying new show at Walt Disney Studios Park at the Disneyland Paris Resort. Speaking of Disneyland Paris, see, you'll have to go back for this, Kyle. The new show will be located in the former home of Lights, Motors, Action, Extreme Stunt Show Spectacular behind Avengers Campus. So feel the energy in a supercharged pop and rock face-off between Alice and the Queen of Hearts. That's sure to be an electrifying battle of the bands. There will be mind-blowing acrobatics. Acrobats and BMX riders defy the laws of gravity with their limit-pushing, high-flying tricks. You can choose from 2 endings. Who wins the showdown? Help the Mad Hatter stage the ending of your choice. I mean, this is interesting. Listen, Lights, Motors, Action was an expensive show to run. It originated at the Walt Disney Studios Park at Disneyland Paris, 2002 to 2020. So 18 years it was there. It originated there. The only other version was in Disney's Hollywood Studios from 2005 to 2016. We sadly lost, and I will still never get over losing Residential Street for that. It was there for 11 years. And so this is replacing a very, very, very expensive show to run. So I get it, but I just keep thinking like, did they knock down the stadium, or is it still the stadium? That's a massive space.
I think it's partially there, because I think part of it's getting co-opted for the new like lake area and the Frozen and things, but I don't know for sure. Just a very weird sounding show. Sounds very French.
And I love the fact that you get to like choose the end. That's kind of fun. I have a feeling the Queen of Hearts is going to win a lot. That would be
yeah,
nice.
I could see that.
We love our villains, don't we? I think us Disney fans love our villains. So that's happening in Paris.
I just hope that if there's BMX, that they have the White Rabbit in
rollerblades, like Adventures in Wonderland throwback.
Exactly.
Wow, Kyle, I love that. I love that idea.
Visual gags on a podcast. I guess I just made your Instagram reel.
That's hilarious. I love it. Breaking news, Kyle. Breaking news. I'm about to read some content I haven't seen yet, you haven't heard yet, because D23 just released, as we're recording this, some important info that is embargoed for a bit. By the time this is released, guess what? Embargo lifted. So are you ready for some D23 Ultimate Fan Event news, Kyle?
Yes, I'm ready to see how they parse that name.
All right, so literally I haven't looked this over at all yet. I'm just pulling it up on my screen. Here we go. I'm going to read through it. What do you want to hear about first? Overall D23 Ultimate Disney Fan Event or Legends?
Let's do Legends, because I have money on one of them.
Oh, who do you have money on?
Well, I commented, and I think our friend Aaron would agree with this, Jennifer Lewis.
Jennifer Lewis. Okay, let's see. I'm opening it up. After a weekend of can't-miss programming, D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event presented by Visa, will conclude on Sunday, August 11th with the Disney Legends Award ceremony. So that's different. Usually it's the first thing. Now it's the last. The Disney Legends Award honor artists and visionaries throughout the company's history who have pushed the envelope and creativity challenged. Yeah, we all know what the award is. Okay, this year's honorees include Colleen Atwood, Angela Bassett, Martha Blanding, James L. Brooks, James Cameron, Jamie Lee Curtis, Miley Cyrus, Steve Ditko, Harrison Ford, Mark Henn, Frank Oz, Kelly Ripa, Joe Rohde, and John Williams. I have a favorite.
Is it John Williams?
Hell yeah, it's John Williams.
I know.
Hell yeah, it's John Williams. Harrison Ford, pretty cool. So wait a sec, your prediction is not in there.
I guess not. Now, are they going to induct Joe Rohde and his ear separately, or is that like a package deal?
His ear gets a separate little... They'll make a little statue, an earring out of the statue that he can attach to his ear and just wear around all the time. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I mean, that's quite a list. And let me continue. Ryan Seacrest, the host of American Top 40 as well as American Idol and Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve on ABC, will host the 2024 Disney Legends Awards. And yeah, so okay. Now a 37-year tradition. So let's see. Any of them you want me to read a little bit more about? Let's see. Colleen Atwood, costume designer, been nominated for the Academy Award a dozen times. She's won 4 times. Alice in Wonderland, the 2010 film. Yeah, so Dumbo in 2019. Angela Bassett. Martha Blanding, The Happiest Place on Earth, helped put the happy in The Happiest Place on Earth as the first permanent full-time Black tour guide. Martha Blanding, so that's like directly from the parks.
Well, you know, sometimes they have surprise ones, so we just hold out faith.
Yeah, I feel like that's stopped a little. Hasn't it been like a few years since they've done a surprise one?
They've done like last minute additions. I think
Okay.
Whoopi would have been the last one. So yeah, it has been a bit.
James Cameron, I get it. Avatar, huge, right? But his most important film is Titanic. Jamie Lee Curtis is interesting to me.
Freaky Friday 2, here it comes.
Yeah, so once again, it's a marketing thing. But happy for her. I mean, I like Jamie Lee. Listen, she's in my world of Halloween, right? So it's exciting. Miley Cyrus will, excite quite a few people. Not me, but people will be happy. Harrison Ford, I think, is pretty huge. It's pretty cool. Mark Henn, let's see, joined Walt Disney Animation Studios in 1980. I think he just retired, if I'm remembering correctly. Fox and the Hound, 1981. Mickey's Christmas Carol, The Lion King, Pocahontas. Yeah, very cool. Frank Oz, another really cool one.
Yeah.
Kelly Ripa, meh, whatever. Joe Rohde, very exciting. John Williams, superbly exciting. Frankly, why the hell isn't John Williams a Disney legend yet? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Gosh, do I need to go to the Legends Award now? Because with John Williams, you feel like there's going to be a cool orchestral moment. But in any case, that's happening. Are you ready to hear some more D23 Ultimate Disney Fan Event news?
I sure am.
Okay, let's read through this. D23 at Disneyland Resort on Thursday, August 8th, and then 3 nights of marquee showcases at the Honda Center. Okay, so here we go. Disney Legends is at the Honda Center. Night 1, Friday, August 9th at 7 p.m., Disney Entertainment Showcase. Night 2, August 10th at 7 p.m., Disney Experiences Showcase. So that's the Parks and Resorts. So that's the most important one to me, the Saturday night one. The largest, most expansive show floor in D23 history at the Anaheim Convention Center. Expanded shopping experience. D23 Day at Angels Stadium on Sunday, August 4th. Completely unrelated. I don't know why they keep trying to shoehorn that into this event. It's so long before it. It doesn't count. Sorry. D23 fantastic prizes sweepstakes. Let's see. Honda Center, yada, yada, yada. A great big beautiful car show. Walt Disney Archives. Well, that'll be cool.
All right.
Fan favorites will return, including pavilions from Pixar, Walt Disney Animation Studios, Marvel Studios, Disney Experiences, Lucasfilm, and a first-of-its-kind exhibition from the Walt Disney Archives entitled A Great Big Beautiful Car Show. That's cool. Of course, Mickey's of Glendale, the Hollywood Studio Store and the Emporium, and the Walt Disney Company Store. Oh, transportation. Let's see what this says.
I'm very excited for this.
I am too. Isn't that so nerdy of us? So transportation for D23, not Expo, D23, the ultimate Disney fan event. Fans will have access to several transportation options to maximize their time at the different venues, since we have to deal with the Honda Center and the Anaheim Convention Center. Complimentary round-trip shuttle service will be available between the Anaheim Convention Center and the Honda Center before and after the evening shows. Parking at the Anaheim Convention Center will also be available, as it has been in previous years, on a first-come, first-served basis. Additional transportation and parking details will be provided closer to the event. So free shuttle service. Shocked. Gotta be honest. Shocked.
No, I figured that's what it would be, but that doesn't mean it'll be good. I feel like that is only a couple miles away, and it's going to take a long time to get there.
I think it's 3 miles. I've looked it up, but it's not like easily walkable. Right. That's going to be a crap ton of shuttles. Like, Hall D23 was 8,000 people. If they're moving to the Honda Center, let me just Google real quickly.
I'm sure it has different configurations and stuff, but it'll give you a rough idea.
How many people does the Honda Center hold? Okay. You want to take a guess?
Honda Center? 20,000.
18,336. So that's at the max capacity. They will set up a stage, I'm sure, and block off a good portion of that. But even still, I'm going to say, let's just say 15,000. So let's say 16,000 to double the size of what they had before. That's going to be a lot of shuttles. I really don't see. That's wild. But hey, I'm thrilled it's there. But I will say, if you plan on using a free shuttle, give yourself plenty of time. Do not expect to do a last minute thing. I will be so impressed and so happy if they pull that off.
They're going to need their own lane on
maybe
to get there.
Maybe police escorts, who knows. But all right. Well, I mean, that's basically it. I'm going transportation, D23 member benefits, yada, yada, yada. Oh, you want to know about prices? Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Holy crap. Do you want to hear what the prices are?
I don't know which way you're going with this. I'm guessing expensive.
Yeah, D23 Ultimate Fan Pass 3-day ticket includes a 3-day assigned seat for evening shows at the Honda Center and 3-day access to all experiences at the Anaheim Convention Center starting
for the
at
Sorcerer.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The equivalent.
Yeah, but this is low then. $297 a ticket. Weren't those like extraordinarily high before?
Yeah, those were like 2,000 something.
D23 Ultimate Fan Pass 1-day ticket includes a reserved seat for that date's evening show at the Honda Center and same-day access to all experiences at the Anaheim Convention Center starting at $99 a ticket. D23 Preferred Ultimate Fan Pass 3-day ticket, exclusive to D23 members, includes a 3-day floor seat for evening shows at the Honda Center, same seat each night, and 3-day access to all experiences at the Anaheim Convention Center starting at $999 a ticket.
All right, so I misspoke earlier.
Yeah, so weird. So the weekend ticket is $297, but it gives you an assigned seat, which it's never done before, but gosh darn, that's a high ticket price. D23 Fan Pass provides access to the Anaheim Convention Center only. 1-day pass, $79 for gold members, $89 for general. 3-day pass for gold members, $209, general $259. So if you're doing a 3-day pass and you want to do just the Anaheim Convention Center and your, let's say general members, $259 versus $297 if you want to add on the seat at the, so I mean that difference is not very much at all. So it's pricey. Gosh, I remember year one, $94 for 4 days. It's getting a little crazy.
Well, you'll want to make sure to go to the convention center because you'll want to stop by the Laughing Place booth.
Absolutely. Of course you want to go to the convention center. And frankly, I mean, some of the smaller panels that will be taking place at the convention center, I assume, are really, really good. I mean, my favorites last year or 2 years ago were the smaller panels. So interesting.
So was there a Honda only, or
No.
Everything is either a package or just the convention?
Yeah, that's all they got for ticketing info. Those are the only options they list. So I don't think there's a Honda Center only option. I'll be curious to see how much the Honda Center fills up. And gosh, this is going to get wild.
You have an assigned seat. You can choose anything in the 300. Take your own section. And
So yeah, tickets going on sale, as you know, on March 26th. Let's see, at 12 p.m. Pacific time, D23 Gold and General members who are also Visa card holders and who pay with their Visa card will have pre-sale access to a number of 1-day and 3-day tickets for a limited time. Beginning March 27th, 2024 at 12 p.m., all D23 Gold and General members will go on sale. Beginning March 28th, 2024, while supplies last. Attendees must be D23 members to purchase tickets. Is that new? I know they have the free level of D23, but
I think that's how it was.
You've always had to sign up as a member?
I'm going to be honest with you, Jeff. I don't know.
You've never purchased
I haven't had to worry about it for years.
Have you ever purchased a ticket to the D23?
Oh, yeah.
show?
No,
Okay.
I've went to the 2000. I went to all of them by myself. But I think the first time we had the booth would have been 2015, and that was the first time where I didn't buy my own ticket.
All right. Well,
So it's been a while. But yeah, no, I was there. That's actually how I met Benji from Laughing Place, was at the very first D23 Expo at the first Legends ceremony. Remember when they screened a half hour of Princess and the Frog in the keynote?
yeah, I think I was there for that. Yeah. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah. Alrighty, well, that's the D23 news, breaking news. It'll be about 24 hours old, I guess, by the time you all hear it.
When people listen to this, they'll already have time to look over everything and digest it, and so we'll just sound stupid trying to react. And
Anywho, that's what I got for the news. Anything you want to add, Kyle?
yeah, I didn't know if you happen to see a little bit of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids love this past week, kind of blended into the Taylor takeover.
We had a Honey I Shrunk / Taylor Swift mashup. Is that what you're saying?
A mashup indeed, yes, very tasty. So if you missed it, when Eras Tour arrived on Disney Plus, the entire front page was basically taken over by, it was actually kind of clever. They had almost all of her albums. For whatever reason, they didn't think to make a Taylor Swift Disney's version and have Eras and the Evermore thing just as its own collection, but they had different collections themed, quote unquote, to her different album titles. So, there was Fearless, which had some heroines and things like that. But there was a 1989 one. So, of course, you had Little Mermaid, but then you had Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And so I thought of you and was happy to see it on the front page of my Disney Plus.
As it should be. And yeah, I think my Honey, I Shrunk the Kids belongs in the company of Taylor Swift. They're both equally popular, I would say. And on top of that, I just love the fact that they got the year right this time. It's in 1989, not 1990s, as they previously did on Disney Plus. So that's good. But speaking of music, you said Taylor Swift. My head went here. Has nothing to do with Disney. Did you see the NSYNC reunion that happened?
I saw a little bit of it. That was at the Will Turn?
Yes. I am kicking myself, Kyle.
On Western and Wilshire.
Right here in Los Angeles, my backyard. I am livid with myself. Here's what happened. Justin Timberlake was doing a solo show. And admittedly, I do not follow Justin's solo career the way I do NSYNC. NSYNC is important to me, Justin, not individually. Without the other four, he's Justin, not NSYNC. In any case, because I don't pay that much of attention of, his solo work, I didn't realize he was doing this free concert that you just basically had to sign up for a chance to get tickets. Now listen, even if I had signed up, it seems like the chances were pretty slim. It's Justin Timberlake. I'm sure there were a ton of people that entered. But the fact that I didn't even try, and I could have been there, kills me, because there was a surprise NSYNC reunion. They performed multiple songs from their new one on Justin's new album to their old school awesomeness. Of course, we're talking about some cool, let's tie it back to Disney, some cool MMC folks in the band NSYNC. And, I woke up at 4 a.m. to see them get their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I deserved to be there, man. And I'm pissed that I wasn't, but I'm so happy that this happened. Like,
I didn't realize that they did multiple songs. I only saw a clip of Bye Bye Bye, and it kind of reminded me of like old school Beastie Boys, because they would just come in with like the little "You're it was awesome.
No, they did Bye Bye Bye. They did It's Gonna Be Me. They did the new song from Justin's album. And, you know, it was like a legit reunion. And once, you know, we recently had the reunion with the Trolls movie. And there was some other, was it the American Music Awards, I think? Like, they keep dropping little things here and there. I'm just waiting for the Vegas residency. I'm just waiting for it. So the more trouble Justin gets into, like, as an individual, the closer we are to an NSYNC reunion, because he needs the support of those four boys. And I'm all for it.
Do you have a preferred venue in Vegas you think would suit them?
No.
Or do you not know enough about Vegas?
I don't care. I just want... I mean, Planet Hollywood had Britney for a long time. You know, I don't want them at, like, the Golden Nugget or anything.
No. What about...
The Dome?
The Sphere.
Oh, the Sphere?
The Sphere.
Yes. Oh my God. If NSYNC was performing at the Sphere, I would lose my mind. I would lose right
and
now.
Your wallet, because it would cost you a lot. But
I know.
You would do it.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Anyway, I should start an NSYNC podcast. Would you join me?
You should do that. You need more things on your plate.
True fact, yo. Alrighty, Kyle, that's going to do it for this week. I'll see you again in 2 weeks with some more Disney news. Sound good?
Sounds great.
To read more about any and all of the stories you've heard here today, simply visit the show notes link in this episode's description. You've heard the news, now I want to hear what you have to say about it. What do you think about the offerings coming to Pixar Fest? Share your thoughts on that or any other topics mentioned in today's episode. Call 818-860-2569 and you may just hear yourself on a future episode of Disney Coast to Coast. Thanks for tuning into this episode. Don't miss any future episodes by subscribing and following Disney with a Z, Coast to Coast on your favorite podcast app, where episodes are available 24/7. Until next time, anything you need can be found in this episode's description. From additional information and links discussed in this episode found in the show notes, contact info to reach me, access to the show's official website, some free gifts from me to you, and so much more. So be sure to check out this episode's description. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!